Today we've got another PSA return, and while not as good as the last one, this one is still pretty good. As far as PSA Gem Mint 10 rate goes, they were definitely harder on this submission, but the cards that did get 10s were the big ones, causing this to be probably my second highest profit ever. Because of the boom we're still in, obviously, that makes a big difference. PSA turnaround about 2.5 months on these cards, so still about what they've been saying. They've been saying turnaround time is increasing recently, but it's still right there in that 2.5 month window from what I have seen. But let's jump right into it. Got my first card here. This is just a Serena Full Art Trainer Rainbow Rare. And these Full Art Trainers don't do well, especially in Rainbow Rare. But because I pulled it myself, it looked clean enough to get the 10. Decided to take a shot on it. Eventually, Full Art Trainers will be in favor one day. Maybe Rainbow cards will be in favor one day. Right now, this has got 2 strikes going for it, but I could see these cards doing decent eventually. Serena, very popular trainer, so we'll hope for the waifu boom eventually. Pikachu VMAX Trainer Gallery Lost Origin. I personally love these black and gold cards. Unfortunately, this got a 9. I thought it was good enough to get a 10. I might crack some of these out. There's actually a good handful of the cards in here that I'm going to crack out and send to my next submission. So I'll take a closer look at this, might crack this out. But for a card this low value, might not be worth it. But I personally love this card, the Rayquaza, the Mew. All those gold cards look amazing. So I'm a big fan of this card. Not in a 9, obviously, but take your shot. Coin flip came up tails. Next card, Celebrations. You know I love my Celebrations cards, but this card specifically, the Gold Mew, is one that I think is undervalued. I know Celebrations had a little bit easier pull rates, but this card is just getting older and older. Shiny Mew card, full art gold. I think with gold cards doing what they're doing in Mega Evolutions, Phantasmal Flames, I think that'll cause these cards to go a little bit crazy. Maybe crazy is not the right word, but I do think gold cards in general will start to tick up because of the gold card hype of the new series, or the new set. The new pull rate being harder to get, the new art on those. I just think these cards will do very well long term. So we got 2 9s on that, and then we did get 1 10, which is a beautiful card. And it's funny because I normally put my worst graded cards up front, so that way when the grader doesn't see a Gem Mint 10 that's like perfect black label and then gets to the next card and says, oh, this card's not as good as the last one, it has to get a 9. So it makes sense to get 2 9s up front. And then we did luckily pull the second 10 on this. So again, Celebrations really is, I do think, a coin flip. I think the grader just says Celebrations are going to get 50%. These 2 are going to get 50% 10s. These 2 will get 50% 9s. So interesting to see that play out the way it did. But happy to have 2 Gem Mint 10s on that. That card's amazing. And 1 card that I have in my collection. So it'll be easy to sell that one off, especially now that it's going a little bit crazy. Celebrations Venusaur here, beautiful card. I love my Celebrations. Gem Mint 10, I definitely sell these as a lot. I sell the Venusaur, Charizard, and Blastoise together. Gem Mint 10, I am running low on these. I want as many Celebrations cards as I can get before the 30th anniversary, so I'm running this play as much as I can. So happy to have that in a 10 because that'll go replenish. I think I only have 1 for sale right now. I just really can't keep these in stock in a 10. They sell so fast, even at crazy high prices. So happy to have this back because I get to replenish some of that stock. And then Celebrations 50%. 1 gets a 10, 1's going to get a 9. So this will actually be the giveaway card of this video. And I do have to announce the giveaway winner from my last video. Congratulations to the winner of this video. I did random comment picker and your name came up and I tagged you in the comments below. Reach out to me via Gmail, Instagram, TikTok, any of these, and I'll get proof that it's you that actually owns the account, and then I'll get this mailed out to you free of charge. No charge to you guys, US only, unfortunately. And that'll be the same thing with this card. This will be the giveaway card here. To enter, all you gotta do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below with what your favorite card is of this submission, and you'll be entered in to win this card going forward. And it'll be quicker to draw the winner on the next one because I already have my next submissions already in QA reviews. I expect to get that back either this month or the beginning of next month. So that's when we'll do the giveaway for that. Unfortunately, it's US only. But again, all you got to do is like the video, comment, subscribe, and you'll be entered to win this. And because I'm such a small channel, you got a pretty good chance to win. So good luck on that one, and congratulations to the winner of this one. I'll get that mailed out to you as well. So appreciate you guys for watching. Next one here is Celebrations Charizard. This is exactly what I was talking about. Gem Mint 10 rate was about 50% across the board, but the cards that did get 10s were the good ones. This Charizard here getting a 10, beautiful card. This thing's worth like $450 now. I just sold one, or on its own, for $450. As I was just mentioning, I tried to sell them in lots, but with this card doing what it was doing, I had to list it for $450 and see if I could sell it. And it did sell, which means I could go ahead and buy more of these cards to try and run the play again. So I just wanted more listings up there. I wanted this card on its own, as well as the whole lot set. So just sold off one, but nice to be able to recoup that. But again, I'm trying my best to keep these in stock for the 30th anniversary, but they just go so quickly. Blastoise here at 9, which is okay because I didn't have Blastoise in a 9. I actually have more 10s than 9s of this. So I had sold off all my 9 sets. So I'll be able to replenish this and get a 9 set listed up there as well. Mew here from Galarian Gallery, Crown Zenith. Beautiful card. These ones are pretty hard to grade usually, these Galarian Gallery art rare cards, just because there's full art on the whole thing. There's room for scratches and all that stuff. So super happy to have this in 10. And another one that I already have, so it's easy to sell while it's hot. And I personally think Crown Zenith cards are undervalued, especially in the raw form, but this card has been going crazy recently. I think this is worth like 35 to 40 bucks now. Which, if you're looking at that price range, you can almost get the Suicune, the Raikou, and the Entei, which are in here as well. I'd almost rather have those cards. I know Mew's a popular Pokemon, but this Galarian Gallery is just easier to hit than the back half. So that's why I'm selling this card personally rather than buying it. But I will sell this card and then just run the play again. So I do want more of those cards in stock for sure. Another Crown Zenith card I think is a little bit undervalued is this Pikachu from Crown Zenith in a Gem Mint 10. The secret rare of this card is like $35 raw, but it was kind of hard to hit. I mean, it was the secret rare of the set. I know Crown Zenith had very good pull rates, but this card is just so sweet. There's the texture on it goes absolutely crazy. There's so many Pokemon on this card to make cameos. This card is just iconic and I think is so good for the set of Crown Zenith that I think this card will do very well long term, especially it just being a Pikachu card in general. So I'm super happy to have this. Again, another one that I already have in my collection, so it'll be easy to sell. But when I do sell, I'll just keep running the play. And what's crazy is I was grading these cards, buying and grading these cards when they were like $5, and the Gem Mint 10 was only like $50, and I was selling them. So that's kind of how I'm running this, is that I don't really care if the price goes up or down, because in theory, the graded card price will just rise with it. So I'll just keep running the play, whether this is a $5 card or a $40 card, because the PSA 10 card will command such a premium that I'll just be able to sell that for more and then run it into more raw cards. So eventually the market will take a downturn for sure, but if you're buying popular Pokemon, popular cards, I think you're a little bit safer from a downturn for sure. Raikou, Crown Zenith, I love this card. Happy to have it in a Gem Mint 10. I love the colors on this. Again, the textures. I think this is a card that's a little bit undervalued. We'll take a look at all of them. I want to know what you guys think is your favorite. The Suicune in a 9. Unfortunate not to get this thing in a 10. Beautiful card. And then same thing here for this Entei in a 9. Crown Zenith typically grades pretty well, but I've had tough luck grading this set. So I wanted this in a Gem Mint 10 sequential set so bad, but unfortunately 2 out of 3 get a 9. But let me know in the comments which one of these is your favorites. I've got to go Suicune is definitely my favorite, followed by Entei, and then the Raikou. I just like the scenery in the background of the Suicune and the Entei cards a little bit better than the Raikou. The Raikou colors are amazing, but the backgrounds on these two cards are so cool. In my opinion, those two get the nod for me, but I love all of these cards. I want to have more of these. I don't have these in my personal collection. I would love to, but for now, I'm just keeping running the play. But those cards specifically are definitely ones that I'd be looking to pick up more of. Sui and Zamorak here, another one. Really cool art. Love the background on this. Crown Zenith, I think, is still such a good set. That's why I'm buying and grading so much of it. Happy to have this one in a 10. Beautiful card. I pulled this on my own and thought it just looked good enough, so we figured we'd take a shot on that one. The big Charizard. Shining Fates. Shining Fates is fun. It's the one set that got me back into the hobby back in 2022. My wife and I ripped so much of this looking for this Charizard. Never could find it. This is actually my favorite card of the Sword and Shield era. I love Shiny Charizard, obviously, and the VMAX form just looks so cool with his flame wings. Him being such a big Pokemon. I love this card. And honestly, this got a 9, but I don't think it deserves a 9. If you look here, there's no whitening on this card anywhere. And the centering is pretty good. So this is definitely one that I'm going to crack and resubmit. I've got about 10 cards probably from this submission that I'm going to crack and resubmit. That's definitely one of them. Pikachu here from the Adventure Chest. Gem Mint 10. I personally think this Adventure Chest is a pretty good item. You get a lot of value from this promo card, but then there's like 6 or 7 packs inside of it as well. So if you're looking for something to open, especially for Christmas, this can make a very good Christmas present because it's got a lot of promo cards in there. So you're guaranteed a lot of hit. And it's still relatively cheap for what you get inside. I think there's even Paldea Evolved inside. So pretty cool product overall. And I love this promo card. So this is one that I definitely want to be grading and playing in as much as I can, especially with promos doing what they're doing now. And speaking of promos, another promo that I think is undervalued, Prismatic Evolutions Eevee from the Prismatic Evolutions ETB. This is not one with the Pokemon Center stamp, but I think this is like a $10 to $15 card. And another one where the Gem Mint 10s were going for like 60 bucks recently when the Prismatic Evolutions ETBs first came out. I have 3 of these actually in stock, but I'm just holding on to them because I thought it was so undervalued at the time that I thought this is such a popular Pokemon, such a cool artwork, that I think this card will do very well long term. So I'm holding on to like 2 or 3 of these. But because I got this one, I might just sell this off. I could buy a ton of these promo cards for $10, you know, $10 to $15 if I sell this for $100 to $150. So I'll probably sell this off and buy a whole bunch more to try to keep running that play. Charizard EX here. This is just a promo card from the special collection. And honestly, I like this card, but this was part of my quest to get every Charizard in a Gem Mint 10 from the Scarlet and Violet era. Not sure if that's going to happen. These promo cards are just hard to find. They're like $5 to $10 each. Tough to find gradable copies. I thought this one looked good enough to take a shot, but unfortunately, again, wasn't able to. But maybe I'll crack this one, but it feels so bad cracking a $5 EX card. It just doesn't seem worth it. So I don't know. I might look to try to buy this in a Gem Mint 10, but I hate buying cards in a 10 that I know I can grade myself. This one's really fun. The Squirtle here, Gem Mint 10. The War Turtle here, Gem Mint 10. And Blastoise in a Mint 9. So this set is really fun. I pulled this from a God Pack myself. I'll throw that video up. It's just a little short here. I love these cards, and so happy to pull these myself. Beautiful cards. I honestly thought only the War Turtle would get a 10 out of this lot. I thought the Squirtle had a little bit of whitening on it. See if I can find that. A little bit up there in the corner, but the bottom corner looks pretty good. But I honestly thought only the War Turtle would get it, so not surprised to see this Blastoise not get it. I will take one closer look at this thing to see if it's worth cracking and resubmitting, but in my opinion, I thought this would get a 9, and it did, so not surprised to see that. This one's really tough to hold, if only for this next reason. I did get the Blastoise in a Gem Mint 10 on one of my ones that I bought from eBay. I don't believe this was the one I pulled from the God Pack. I think I kept all of those together. That's what that sequential set was. But to have all of these in a Gem Mint 10, even though they're not sequential, this is so hard to let go of. I love these cards, and I really think the starters from 151 will do very well long term, as well as the special illustration rares. But these cards are worth so much that just the market and people in general are valuing these Gem Mint 10s much more than I am. So I feel like I have to sell these into this market. And the thing is, I can sell these into the market and then keep trying to run the play again. So maybe I get to a point where I get 2 of these sets back and I just hold on to one set and sell off the other. And maybe I do that. But, you know, with one set only, it's so hard to sell these cards because it is hard to grade these 151 art rares. I've graded a lot of these and they're just tough to grade. Their Gem Mint 10 rate's not the best, so it's tough. It's going to be tough to let these go. It would be so sweet to sell these as a lot, but I don't have Blastoise in a 10. I do have the Charizard. I'm still waiting for the Venusaur. I want all of these for my personal collection. I will be holding on to this one for sure. Probably have to let these 2 go, but absolutely love that set. Was so happy to get those back as a 10. Especially since I pulled it myself. That's just such a cool story. One big miss here, the Charizard from 151. And honestly, I think this card looked 10 worthy. I mean, if you take a look at it here, you don't see any whitening on any of the corners. And that's the biggest thing. You take a look at the centering. Centering, pretty darn good on this card. A little bit bottom heavy, but definitely within PSA standards. So I'll be cracking this one as well. I think this has a real good chance to get a 10. And again, I really just think it's so subjective that it's really tough. Seems like it really is just a coin flip on if you get a 10 or a 9, but can't be too upset because I did get so many 10s, including this gold Charizard. I know this card is pink and I know it's got a weird hat on it. Also, what's with Pokemon's obsession with throwing pink in with Charizard? I know in the new set, Phantasmal Flames, he's got a full art where he's got some pink and green in it. I don't know why they keep associating pink with Charizard. I'm not sure if people are into that, but I think this card specifically, even in its raw form, is criminally undervalued. It's like $20, $25. I think it's made a little bit of a run, but still, I think this card is undervalued, especially with gold cards coming out. I, again, think there's going to be a resurgence of gold cards because of how hard they are to hit. I think people are going to try to pump those as the new thing. Even though these older ones are not the same pull rates as the new ones, I get that. But the new people entering the hobby might not know that. So I think gold cards are definitely going to make a pump here recently. And I think this Charizard is one that I definitely want to have. So I'll have to sell this off, but then I'll be buying those. I'll be using those proceeds to buy more and more of these cards for sure. And then one here, I just bought this Goldingo card for my personal collection. Got it from TCG Player and it looked clean enough to get sent in for a 10. So I'll sell this off, again, buy a few more. And then if there's one that doesn't look gradable, I'll keep it in my personal collection. I really wanted this card. I do really like this card. I know he's String Cheese Man, but I just really like the idea of him being a little hoarder. It reminds me of something from Dragon Quest Warriors. It seems like a fun little dude. So I personally love this card, but I'll have to sell this off and buy some more for my personal collection. Here's where the submission got really weird. I sent probably 10 to 12 Japanese cards here, and normally Japanese cards grade extremely well, but I got absolutely smoked on the Japanese cards of the submission. And it's so weird because Like, look, okay, I understand this thing is off-centered left to right, but like Japanese cards in general are so clean. Like, I'm not sure what they're seeing here to cause this be an 8. It can't just be the centering, but this is definitely one I'm cracking out. I'm, again, going to crack out a lot of these Japanese cards because Japanese just typically grades so well that I'm shocked to see this. I think it's just one grader who had a bad day, and I'll be resubmitting these and kind of seeing where I can get from. If anything, this should definitely be a 9. I could see this being a 9 because of the centering, but definitely not an 8. That thing's crazy. And just one side note here, this card is so much cheaper in Japanese than it is in English. You'll see that theme here. If I like a card, if I like its artwork, I typically go buy it in Japanese. Like, look, the text on this isn't black on black anyway. You can't even read it. So, like, honestly, I don't mind having this card in Japanese. As a kid, I had some Japanese cards. I'm not even sure how I got a hold of those, but I have, like, some old Neo cards that are Japanese that I must have got somehow. So, even back then, I collected Japanese and English, so I don't mind having this in Japanese, especially if it's so much cheaper. I just want this card for the artwork, so happy to have it, but certainly not an 8. I think I can do better than that, so I'll be cracking that one. Again, Mew EX9. These were just cards that I pulled, and so I thought I would grade the popular Pokemon. I'm not grading the Iron Treads and stuff like that, but the Mews, the Charizards, the Gardevoirs, I'll be grading those. Unfortunately, got a 9. Probably not worth cracking out. Honestly, this is one of those where if PSA made me an offer, I should have accepted it, because selling it on eBay, I'll have fees and shipping and all that stuff. That'll really bring that profit down. It's not even worth selling. Gem Mint 10 on the Charizard. This one will be worth selling, especially now with tariffs and all that stuff. It's just easier to sell Japanese cards in America as a US seller. It gives you a leg up in reselling. It's much harder to grade these cards now that PSA has opened up their PSA grading operations in Japan. It's so hard to compete on these cards in general. The price just gets brought down so low. But as an English seller, I can sell these popular Pokemon to people who don't want to pay tariffs or anything like that. So these popular Pokemon still sell well, so it's worth grading them, especially if you pulled them yourself. Gardevoir, another popular Pokemon, unfortunately got a 9. I'll probably just throw that up at auction, see what I can get for it. Terrestrial Festival, I opened a box of this on my birthday and was lucky enough to get the Espeon Master Ball. Other hits were not good, but this one, pretty good. I think Master Balls are pretty... I can't even say... I was going to say undervalued, but I don't know. I personally don't even love them, so I can understand why people don't. They're just so rare, especially when you only get one from a box. The possibility to get a evolution in general is pretty rare, so I don't know. I might hold on to that, see what it does, but I'll probably just throw it up and buy it now for pretty expensive and just kind of wait for the market to come up to it. I'm not in a huge rush to sell that. Similar thing here, popular Pokemon. I pulled it myself, so I thought, why not grade it? That'll sell for probably 40 or 50 bucks as a US seller. Same thing here with the Glaceon. Evolutions always sell well, so it's good to have those in stock. Again, I was trying to get as much stock as I can for the holiday season, so that was exactly my thought here. And then the big boy here. I bought this for myself, for my personal collection, because again, I'm never going to get this in English. It's just so expensive, but I did want the art to go with my Moonbreon that I have it in English, so I bought it as Japanese, and it graded a 9. So unfortunate on this one. This is another one that I will crack out and resubmit. I thought it looked pretty good. It's the tiniest bit off-centered, but even that, I mean, it's definitely within PSA's guidance. So I think this one's worth resending it. So I will definitely be cracking and resubmitting that one. And then one I did have some luck on, and this one I pulled myself. So maybe that's the difference. I bought this one, came all the way from Japan. So maybe it got a little bit worn in shipping or something like that. This one pulled myself. This was fun. I pulled this with my nieces over in Orlando. We were over there for the week, and I brought a box of Terrestrial Festival. We were able to pull this. Super cool memory of pulling this with them. So awesome to have it. And also another one that I pulled this in English when Prismatic Evolutions first came out, graded it myself and got a 10 on that. Sold it when the hype was big with Prismatic Evolutions for probably, I don't know, $600-700 somewhere in there. And that paid for a lot of the openings that I did. So it's cool to recoup this card, even if it's in Japanese, but the tie-in of I pulled it with my family, it now replaces the English card that I sold to sell off my openings. That this card has a lot of story tied to it, so I really like this card and will be keeping this in my personal collection. Super happy that this came back at 10, but again, Japanese cards typically grade pretty well, so it's not surprising to see that. And then this was my hit of the Prismatic Evolutions, another Prismatic Evolutions box that I opened. Sandy Shocks, not who we're looking for in a Gem Mint 10, but we got the 10. We'll be selling that off. Lacey, art rare, so cool to get 2 hits in my box. I did get this Lacey and Sandy Shocks from my one box, which is pretty cool, but Lacey getting a 9 is pretty mid. Again, someday the waifu craze might come back, so I might hold on to that until it does. Quackleval, cool full art shiny here. Again, I opened a Shiny Treasures EX box as well, hoping to get that Charizard or the Bubble Mew. Really, I was shooting for the Bubble Mew because it's gotten away from me, and I don't have it in English or Japanese. And no luck, obviously. And then we pulled this, and then on top of it, we get a 9 on it. So triple whammy box of hurt there. And it's interesting because you'll see, again, Tinkaton, Mint 9. Everything from this box seemed to get a 9. Weavile 9, except for the Golden Glizzy himself. The Wiglet was the one that got a 10. I don't know, man. Absolutely got smoked on that box in general, but just in general, the Japanese opening, or the Japanese grading, it got absolutely smoked. And then my one Final Fantasy, or the one Magic the Gathering card I have that's graded, the Titus. I know you're gonna come at me in the comments, the Titus. I will never pronounce his name Titus. He will forever be Titus in my book. But Final Fantasy X, my favorite video game of all time. So the Magic the Gathering collab here with Final Fantasy was really good. I opened one collector booster pack, and this was in that pack. It's not Surge foil, it's just the normal borderless foil on there, but still an amazing card. I was so happy to get this thing from my one pack that I thought one and done, I'm good with that. Thought it was cool enough to get graded because, again, in a 10, I'll just put this in my personal collection. This will be a really cool display piece. I love this card, so super happy with that. I love the Final Fantasy Magic cards in general. I opened a lot of the play packs and the commander decks just because of the cards in there, the flavor text, all that. So I put together a whole huge binder of this, which is pretty cool, but the collector packs definitely got away from me. I wasn't spending $100 per pack on that, or $1,200 a booster box. So I only opened the one pack that I found, and I paid market value for it. So I probably paid $200 for it, honestly. So to get this card out of it is pretty cool. This card's probably worth about $200, so gets my value out of it and is a really cool display piece. So super happy with that. But that's all I've got. I appreciate you guys watching. I'll put the totals up on screen. Actually, as I mentioned, this was my second highest valued PSA return ever that I've had. So the total cost of my submission was just under $3,000 at $2,803, and that includes the raw card cost as well as the cost to grade. But then the graded price after everything came out to $5,540 for everything. So that's a gain of a profit of about $2,700, or almost 94% before fees, considering I had $28 into it and got $2,700 out of it, obviously after I sell everything. But if I had sold everything raw, there'd be fees with that too. So that's why I do it that way. Profit after fees would be about 75%, which is amazing because all of last year, it's funny because I was doing so much grading in 2024 and the market was not doing what I was doing. So I was happy with like 20 to 30% profit margin on these. And now we're in such a totally different market that I laid off in the beginning of the year because it was such hard work in 2024. But 2025 is just free money. So right now I'm grading as much as I can. I've got 4 submissions at PSA right now. Again, one is in QA checks and then the others are in research and ID. So those will take forever to get back to me. But I've got a whole bunch of cards that I'm hoping to get back before the end of the year, before the holiday season, to try to sell into this hype market because the market is still going crazy, especially PSA cards. Even coming down off their highs, there's still tons of margin here to be made. So I'm running these plays as much as I can. So let me know in the comments if you guys are grading with PSA, what you guys are grading with PSA, what you think of the submission. Did I get cooked? Did I do some cooking? I appreciate you guys watching. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe if you're not already. I've got a lot of more Pokemon content coming. Again, I've got 4 different PSA returns that should come back before the end of the year. And then I'm continuing to do my market updates, more investment talk, stuff like that. So let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like to see as far as Pokemon content goes. I can definitely tailor my content to my viewers' needs. If you're into that, check out one of my other videos right over there. Leave a comment, goes a long way for the algorithm, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.